Hello, this is Morilibus. So, I've decided to start a little Let's Play. I'm going to use this world to start. And, yeah, what I do in it is kind of up to you guys. So I've already recorded about 4 episodes. They're very short. They're all under the 15 minutes, except for the last one. And I've now set my account so that I can upload videos longer than 15 minutes. So after these first 4, I'll start uploading probably 20 to 30 minute episodes, depending. We'll see what we're doing. It'll kind of depend on what we're working on. I did find that trying to cram things into the 15 minute is pretty difficult, so I don't like having that restriction. So, this is just kind of an introduction to start off. So I've dubbed this Season 1, Episode 1, Morilibus Plays Minecraft. So yeah, I will be playing in this world. I've already got a few suggestions on what I could show. One being that wheat farm. I'm going to show how that works. I've also got a suggestion to show how that ore packager in the basement of my warehouse works. And maybe possibly do a tutorial on that. And yeah. And also to start providing like annotations and links to the people's channels that I mentioned. So I'm going to do that as well. Still kind of fiddling around with the annotations and figuring out how they work. But I'm going to try to add those whenever I mention someone's design. And for the world preview videos, I've modified the description to link to the channels of the people I mentioned. And yeah, that is how I'm going to structure this Let's Play. If you have any other suggestions, just leave a comment below. If there's something you'd like me to work on, or something you'd like me to show you in more detail that I've already worked on or created, I have no problem tearing it down and rebuilding it, or at least dissecting it for you. So yeah, let me know in the comments and enjoy the series. That is all. And now, to our regular scheduled programming. Whee! It's crazy. I do hope they fix this. I mean, I've never played multiplayer, so I was a single player guy. So seeing all this glitchy stuff introduced is a little odd. But I'm okay with what they're doing, the progress. I think they're working towards the right goal. And if a game like this is this glitchy, and people still enjoy playing it and want to play it, then, you know, it's a good game. So yeah. Squish! How many was that? 60. I think I had some in my inventory. So that works pretty good. That's only like 2 spawning pads. Alright, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. It's pretty nuts how many were kind of flying out of there. Bye-bye! I got a request to show this wheat farm in action. I had recorded it, but I messed it up. So yeah, I'm going to plant, and then I will cut back, and we can harvest this thing. I'll show you kind of how I designed it. I put up these little barricades because I kept falling off and falling down into the water below, and there's no real good way to get out of there other than ender pearling or breaking some blocks. So yeah, replanting is your basic. I mean, there's no way getting around the manual replant thus far. Just like so. So yeah, I will cut back when this thing is fully planted and fully grown. See you in a bit. Alright, I've got it fully planted. Maybe while it grows, I can show off how exactly it works. So I just use pistons to release the water. And when I was doing the piston work, I had a little bit of trouble. I know now how I probably could have done it, but I was trying to keep this clear to the sky, which I ended up blocking with leaves anyway, so it didn't really matter. I could have used dispensers, but I can't remember if dispensers had that feature out yet when I was doing this. Probably did, but anyway. I went with the pistons. So if I had it just kind of the way you see it, with the water source back there and the piston release here, water, as we all know, travels 8 blocks. So if the pistons went up, we got 1 for the water source, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the water would actually stop here, which is no good, because I needed to go all the way down. So what I did is I added these 2 water sources on the side. And what they do is as soon as this opens up, this turns this row, where the pistons are, into water source blocks as well. Because wherever 2 water source blocks meet, they will form another water source block, and so forth. So yeah, that way it's here and it'll travel 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and drop down. So yeah, the water gates open up, water flows that way, all the wheat gets washed down, falls to the next level, which we can see here. So all that wheat would just keep falling down. Now, let's put my stuff back where I normally have it. Maybe I'll take this, oops, that's not right. There we go. Okay, so here you can see signs. So this allows the items to fall down, but when the water comes, the signs hold up the water, and the water gets directed this way, and will fall down this way. On this side, there is no signs, so the water will continue down, but the next row down there, you can see there are signs. So it continues in this fashion. And that way the water snakes all the way down, but the wheat drops immediately down all the way to the ground. So all that does is make it so that the wheat gets down there a lot quicker, because it does take a little bit of time for that water to snake all the way down through all those levels. And then under there is the ice, and that just helps a little bit to get the items grouped up there quicker. So, and then there's this button, which is obvious what it does. I even labeled it for myself in case I'm derpy. I used to have a lever, and I would just turn it on, wait, turn it off, but figured I'd throw in a button. Now the wiring is down here. Alright, and all it is, I think they're called NS NOR latches, where it will basically toggles. So you get a signal from one side, it'll activate, and then it'll stay activated no matter how many times you continue to activate that same side until a signal is introduced into the other side. And then there's a bunch of repeaters here, which is for the time delay. So this determines how long those pistons stay open before it automatically resets itself. And this design, I don't know who did it. I saw it on Hypnotized channel from the Hermit Crafters, or Hermit Crafts, whatever they're called, those guys. Generikb server, other server, now that before he was part of the Minecraft. So it's similar to other designs. The one exception is it allows you to use slightly less repeaters, I believe, for a longer delay. So I think your basic design sends a signal, and as soon as that signal gets to here, it shuts off. This one goes a little different. So when you hit that button, it does two things. It turns this torch off, which turns that off, which turns this torch back on, which sends power down this line. So this line is what heads up all the way to the pistons to open them up. Second thing it does when you hit that button, so there's power up here. This repeater pulls that power out of that block and the signal starts to travel. And as soon as it gets to here, it'll power this block again, which will turn off this torch. But because this block is now being powered, this guy will actually remain on. So this will continue to send power up to those pistons. And also, I left out a step, but backtracking. So when this turned on, this turned off, this turned off, and this turned on. So when it sends signal to the pistons, it also sends a signal back to this guy, which keeps this on and this torch off. So that means that this continues to receive power up until the point that it gets to here and sends power into this block. When that happens, this guy turns off and that turns this signal off, which means this guy no longer is pulling power out. So what you end up seeing is these all turning on and staying on until it gets to here, and then they all start shutting off. So you kind of get that. I don't know if it is double the length, but it might be. So you get kind of double use out of your repeaters. And then as soon as the signal power is turning off and gets back to here, this thing goes back to its current state, which is its off position, and the pistons extend again, blocking off the water. So yeah, that is how that works. Let's get out of here. Whee. Okay, now all I gotta do is wait for this stuff to grow. So I'm gonna make you guys watch too. No, just kidding. I'll bring you back when it's fully grown and we can see this thing in action. I will see you in a bit.